Hey there, Python programmers. Welcome back to our Wordle code along. At this point, we need to work on the play game method. Again, I've mentioned it earlier in the videos. This is going to be like what runs the whole gameplay. So what we can do to help us is, hey, we've got this built completed version right here. And again, it's kind of step by step how we need to start off. Looks like we need to print our logo. Then we say, welcome to Wordle. And then it looks like we go into a guess. So let's go ahead and start implementing that here. If you remember earlier, or in the beginning, we imported OS. Again, that's the built-in Python operating system module, sorry. And we are going to do OS system. This method on the OS module system, this is going to go ahead and basically write in your terminal whatever you put in as an argument. And what we want here is CLS to clear screen, depending on what you're using. Again, you could be doing Windows, Linux, Mac operating system. It might just be clear instead. Again, something you could just test out in your terminal here. So again, CLS, clear here. Most of the time, clear will do the same thing. And that's just to clear our terminal so our game can start. Next thing we're going to want to do is print our logo. Then we have just a nice static print statement saying, welcome to Wordle. Then, welcome to Wordle. Boom. How's that look so far? Welcome to Wordle. All right. And then at this point, we need to basically have our user make a guess. Lucky for us, well, we already have a method to help us make guess. Now, again, we have to implement a little game logic. So remember, how do you lose Wordle? Well, you run out of tries before you guess, and we are keeping track of our tries. So what we'll most likely want to do here, again, we don't know entirely how long it's going to take. So I'm going to say while self.tries is less than 6. Again, that means we're going to get 6 guesses. We'll have 0, because again, it starts at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ultimately 6, again, 0 based. Now we want to do self.make guess. Again, calling our method we defined above. Again, good object-oriented programming principles. We want abstraction, so we're abstracting all of the logic of make guess to this method. So again, when we need to use it, call it, hey, it's all there. It's going to completely handle our guess process. Now, the next thing we're going to call, and again, this isn't going to be very helpful yet, is self.update display. That's our next thing to code. But again, we can plan ahead. We are going to need to call it here. And that's going to basically take care of, hey, you just made a guess. I now need to take that information, bring it into the gameplay, check it against our guesses logic, and then basically print out our game board. So again, we're going to tackle coding that out in the next video. The logic here is pretty simple. Each time we really just need to check if the self.guess, which again is what our user just used the make guess method up here to do, if that now equals our self.game word. Right? Game word is the winning word. So again, if our person guesses the correct, let's go make a guess, go to our game board. Oh, not a great guess there either, right? So here's another one. But again, we make our guess. If it's the correct guess, we win or we run out of turns. At this point, if we've entered this if block, we just won the game. So we can do print. We've got to tell our user you won. You won. I'm going to do it in screaming capital case because again, you won. It's a big deal. Big thing with Wordle is reporting how many tries it took you to get there, though. So we're keeping track of self.tries, right? We can report that. And then again, it's always over 6 tries. So that's going to say how many tries did it take you? And then what I typically like to do is also offer up the word was, and this is something I like to do even if they don't win. So our word self dot, it's the game word. Now, what I will want to do is call upper on it. Again, totally can do some sort of simple string manipulation like this inside of an F statement. And I do want it to look like it's in quotes, and then maybe we'll throw in an exclamation point there. So again, we're reporting that we have won. At this point, probably we'd want to add play again in here. Again, we can maybe do that in a different video. This is really just, hey, let's get this play game working. And at this point, they've won. So basically, we want to return. That's going to end the method, the whole thing. So yeah, and then again, this is now the scenario. If at any point before we run out of tries, we guess the correct word, we win. Cool. After this now, what needs to happen is basically, hey, how do we lose? Well, if the while loop goes all the way up, executing and then exits, we're going to go back to the play game method, which is still running. So below our while loop, that's where we really can add in the, hey, you lost. And at this point, we'll do sorry, you are out of fries, bummer. And then I'm going to, again, at least give my poor losing player some closure by telling them what word they desperately were trying to guess and didn't manage to get. Cool. So honestly, this is all we need to do in our play game method. We basically have our game starting, all the prints, handling our guesses. Again, we still need to work on update display, but now we've got our logic of if we guess it correctly, we win. If we run out of tries, we lose. All right, that's it for this video. Next, we'll come back and tackle update display. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, Python programmers.